Hey YouTube, I have another video for you in the general series. I'm going to be talking about skill books, how to properly set up your generals without being wasteful. You know how I don't like to spend on this game. So I'm going to tell you how you can avoid spending too much or, well, nothing at all like me, and what skill books you should be using for each general. And it's, you know, it's a debatable thing and everybody has their own style, but I'll tell you some popular things that you might include in each of the bullet points there. I'll tell you how to get level 1 books and how to get level 4 books. Lastly, I'm going to talk about subsidy generals and what works for skill books there. So first, let me just show you where these skill books are on your general, where you can add them. If you just go into a general, you'll see they're listed here along this tab here. If you go inside and you click on skills, you can access all the ones that can be added to your general. Now, the trick that I figured out many years ago, and I'm pretty sure I'm the first, but who knows, is that when you're adding skill books, if you add your first book just goes on. If you add your second book, I think it's a 25% chance that your first book will get replaced by that second book. And then the third one, when you add that, when you have the other two, and you add a third book, it has, I don't know, a pretty high, it's like 75%. I don't remember the numbers. I haven't done my generals in a while. But it has a really high chance of replacing one of the other ones. And if you're just putting on your level 4 books, that's going to be very costly. They're not easy to get. It's not easy to get level 4 books. So if you are constantly replacing your level 4 books, you're going to not get very far in this game. So what I figured out is when you have a duplicate book, so let's say you have a ranged troop attack level 1 skill book. If you have that on and you put a level 2 or level 3 or level 4, anything of the same type, it will have to replace that level 1 book because you can't have duplicates. So what I figured out in the early days is if you just line up your general with all level 1 skill books. It's not ideal, but it's a temporary solution. You just get all the skill books that you want in the level 1 variety. When you put your level 4 books, it has to replace the level 1. There's no other place you can go, so you'll never lose a level 4 book. That's the way to do it. Better to lose level 1 books, getting it figured out, than to lose a bunch of level 4s. So let's go on to the next section. We have what skill books you should be using. This depends on your play style. This depends on the kind of general you have. If you have a wall general that, like me, is focused on archers, some people do archer siege. I don't spend on this game, so I really am limited in what I can do in terms of scope. So I just have archers. I have, he's got his own ranged troop attack by 15%, and then he has some reduction in ground troop defense when he's on the wall here. And then I add more ranged troop attack because attack is great, obviously. I have range bonus, which is good. I have ranged troop defense, which is great for PvP. Ranged troop HP is not useless, but it's not as good as defense, so prioritize defense over HP when you are doing PvP stuff. And if you're doing PvE, like fighting bosses or world boss, you prefer HP over defense. For an attacking general with archers, I might have attack here, defense, and march size. I prefer march size over ranged troop bonus because I can get more archers in there, get more kills. It makes me more successful. So that's more valuable to me. But it depends on what you're trying to accomplish, what kind of general you have, what his bonus is or her bonus is, how you can take that and just build it further. If you have a gatherer like Queen Jindiok, you might have the different gathering bonuses. So you have food gatherer, lumber gatherer, stone gatherer, ore gatherers. If you have a general for load, for carrying, so something like, where's my dude here? He's not too great. I've skipped past him. There he is. Amir. So he has a bonus of 100% troop load. He's a great troop load general if you're trying to collect resources in PvP. and I have march size increase. Because I don't have siege, I don't have that. I focus more on mounted and ranged troops, so I have those. But ideally, you'd have, I don't know, siege, possibly ground load, march size. Just makes you able to pull more when you attack people. And the last one I'll talk about is just the world boss general. So like I said, anything, not just world boss, but bosses in general. If you have a Baybars, that's great. You have, double items and stuff. But you just look at the generals you have, and I have March Speed, Monstrous Respect, and Monster March Speed on this guy. I do not think that's ideal. That's just because he's one of the ones I just put in when other people are rallying, and he comes back faster. But if you are the one leading the rallies, usually people lead with mounted troops. So this guy has march size increase, HP is better in PvE, mounted troop attack. That's really the way to go. Or if you don't have a Baybars, you would want to put a luck in there, luck level 4, and maybe you have Washington or something else that can be there for the main skill. But it really depends on you and what you're trying to accomplish. The next couple sections are going to go pretty quick. I have how to get level 1 books. The dirty way to do it is just go here to the Academy, the skill books shop. You can buy them for 3,000 gems. However, you don't really need to do that anymore. That's what we had to do in the early days. These days, with Hydras and all the Wheel of Fortune spins that you get, you're going to get a ton of them just by spinning in the Wheel of Fortune. Really, it just collects so quickly. So you can just do some spins. Look at that, I've already got one right here. So you just keep doing that. You'll get a collection of level 1s in no time. How to get level 4 books, you can get those through events. There's no event on right now, but when an event comes, you'll see that, especially, I think it's the Preparing for Battle or whatever it's called. Every time you accomplish something in there, like building troops or whatever, it gives you that chest that gives you these little scrolls, these pages, and when you get 10 of them, you can compose into a general skill book, and that allows you to create a level 4. You can also take your old skill books, ones that are not very useful. Where do I have them? Is it equipment or special? Looks like special. So if you go down here and you find ones that are not so useful to you, I don't need Monsters Respect, for example, I might disassemble that, and I get a page per level. So if I have a level 4 that I don't want, I don't know, I'm not going to destroy anyone, but if I did destroy any of these, I would get 4 because it's a level 4. And when you get 10, you have a chance of getting the level 4 skill book that you want. Last topic, it's getting a little long here, so I'll try to go through this quickly. Sub-generals, and I'm going to talk about in the future what sub-generals to use and what works. But essentially the idea is anything with a debuff works as a sub-general. Skill books are a little bit different. Only the actual characters, or the general's main skill is what can be applied through your sub-city. So when I'm attacking somebody with my subs, or I'm defending with my subs, my Nero here is giving enemy troops minus 15% HP. But if I put other skill books here, they would only buff the troops of that sub-city. It's not going to increase my own troops in my main army. It's not going to increase their power. It's not going to benefit them. It just benefits the actual troops in your sub-city, which really isn't going to be a whole lot of power. So what you could do is, have training speed, construction, training capacity, gold production, those kind of things. It's not a huge effect. It's a little bit of a bonus. It's not the end of the world if you don't have skill books on there. Some of mine do, some of mine don't. But I wouldn't be too concerned with that. So as far as skill books go, that's all I have for you here. But if you have any requests or any information you'd like to know that maybe I can share with you, feel free to leave a question in the comment section, and I'll give it a try. I'll try to share some of that insight with you.